Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips tutorials brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Custom Tutorials Group. And let's jump right in with today's poster wants to know how to get rid of objects using fill selection. Now, if you're trying to get rid of this whole side piece over here, it's going to be hard. And the reason is fill selection doesn't work with giant objects that have other portions of the photo near them. So if I were to take the lasso tool, and make sure it's a lasso, not the polygon, the lasso tool, and lasso around this whole piece that we don't want. The problem is that the computer doesn't know what's beyond this, and it's too much detail for it to figure it out. So as long as I choose a layer, go to edit, choose fill selection, I'm going to leave this mode at normal, opacity at 100, hit OK, and watch what happens. Boom. What it does is it grabs what's next to that. What's next to that is this leg over here. And you can see it's trying to make up something. It thinks that it doesn't know that you want to fill it in with trees. It thinks that you want to fill it in with the leg. It doesn't know. It's too much detail to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. What's good about the fill selection is for smaller, simpler objects to get rid of, such as this piece here. This, what you'd want to do is with the lasso tool, you can draw a circle. What happens is now you can see what's around here is other sky. So it knows that. If I go to edit fill selection and hit OK, boom, it fixed it easily. And I'll hit Control D to deselect the marching ants, and it's looking great. That's what fill selection is good for, not this big portion. You have to be a little more creative on this portion to get rid of it. What I would do, the simplest thing, is just to copy this edge, because this is a symmetrical picture, and it's exact same on this side as it is on this side. You might as well just copy this and bring it over to the right. So I'm going to take that same polygon tool, and I'm going to copy this whole section of the photo like this. And I'm grabbing the whole piece. I'm going to right click and hit copy. Now I've copied that whole section over here. I'll bring it over here. Let's turn it around. I'll go to image, rotate horizontally, not up here because that'll rotate the whole picture. Use these for just the object that you're selecting. Horizontal, and now it's horizontal. I'm going to erase the portions that are dealing with the edge of the object once I place it. So I can't see where it has to go. So what I'm going to do is make the opacity up here 50%. And now I can move this around till it matches. And I'll carefully put it as close as I can to the edge where it matches, right around there. And then I can nudge up and down using the up and down arrow keys or left and right. Once I got it where I want it, then all I have to do is take an eraser and then go and pick a soft brush. See, they start out hard up here, but as long as I scroll down a little bit, I can find these soft brushes. I'll pick this one. So I'll make this about 25 point, and I'm going to cut along the original, leaving just the sky with the eraser. I want to make sure that I get rid of all of the new stuff. So it leaves just the sky. And the reason why you wanted the soft eraser is so that the sky in the background blends with the new piece that we added. It's going to be a little more tricky when we get down close to here where it matches the trees. And what I might want to do is use a smaller brush. I'll go from 25 to 15 point. And this will allow me to cut closer around the original. I'm shift clicking now to get rid of that portion of the leg. Once I get down to the edge of the foot here, to blend this portion in here, I can use a much fatter brush. But what I want to do is take that same eraser and make this like 75 point. You see how big that is? And just go like this down to the bottom where it'll blend with the original. Come back to the opacity and bring the opacity back up from 50 back to 100. And see that? I'm going to turn off the back layer for a second because there's still portions here that we need to get rid of. I'll take the lasso tool. This time I'm going to use the polygon down here and get rid of everything that we don't need by using a polygon and go right in between where I erased. We want to keep the sky on the right and get rid of the duplicate portion of the object on the left. So you see it takes a little bit of elbow grease, but it's not too difficult. Once we get down to the bottom here, I'll just close up the loop. It'll give us the marching ants. Let's come back up here. Boom. Come to the top, double click, and there's the marching ants. I'll zoom out to see what we're going to get rid of. Hit delete, and now get rid of everything but the new piece that we wanted. Turn the background back on, and look at that. We got rid of the right edge with all the stairs. And then all we have to do now is take the square box or the rectangle marquee and draw a rectangle around everything that we don't want. Make sure that we're picking the layer we want to get rid of. Pick that layer and hit delete, and boom, there it is. And that's pretty much all there is to it. But wait, there's more. Let's get rid of this portion up here that has the wheels, so all it leaves is the elephant. So all I'm going to do is zoom in here, and let's first get rid of the wheels so that we don't see that portion using the polygon tool. And it's going to basically cut a hole that we're going to have to fill in later. But at least we know exactly what it is that we have to work with. So I'm going to carefully cut out along the image that we want to keep. And double click at the end here. I can zoom out. And when I hit delete, I get rid of the portion that needs to be replaced. Now, I didn't have to get rid of that portion. I could have just built by what's here around it and fill it in. I did this just to give you an example of what needs to be filled in. Now what we can do is take portions like the corners of the feet here to fill in the corners of the feet here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll grab this right around here, and I'll right click and I'll hit copy. Bring that over to the edge back here to match the other one. I can bring the opacity down to 50% and make it smaller because it is further in the background, so it should be smaller. Bring that back up to 100%, and that works good. I can also just hold the Alt down and drag this over, which made a copy, and I'll turn it around by going to Image, Rotate horizontally, and bring that back down to 50%. Opacity, and just place this one where it needs to go, right around there. That looks good. Bring it back up to 100%. Now we want to fill in the road back to a certain point. So I'm going to create a new layer right above the original layer. Now before I clone stamp, I want to make sure that I bring that layer beneath so I can create it beneath this. And I can take the clone stamp tool and grab it right around here, and then come over here beneath and fill it in. And once I've created a portion, I can always right click on that and duplicate layer and drag that duplicate layer up above, which drags the whole piece further up. I'll zoom out to look and see, and it's looking pretty good. Now if you can see these little cut edges, I can always take the original and an eraser, and let's make this about a 55-point soft eraser, and just dab this along here, and you can see it just disappears, that line. And that's all there is to it. So now let's go ahead and fill in the rest here by grabbing parts of the trees on this end with the polygon tool. I'll make it the lasso tool. Make sure I got the right layer that I want to grab from. And let's go ahead and grab some of this fence from down here all the way up here, since it comes across to there. We're probably going to fill in that top portion with something darker, but I'm just going to grab this extra for now. I'll right click and hit copy, and I can just bring that over to where I want to fill it in. Let's take that layer to the bottom. Boom. To the very bottom. Boom. And look at that. I can move that around till I find something that looks like it fits right back there. Now there's a portion up here that needs to be filled in with something like mechanics. So I'm going to click on this, which is the original layer, take the lasso tool, and grab a portion of this black here, like this. I'm going to right click and copy that. I'll drag it to where I want it to go, but I'm going to take it back one layer right to here. And look at that. It kind of fills in. And if it doesn't fill in exactly where I want it, I can always take it and stretch it bigger till it fills in. Well, that's it for this tutorial. This is Rich, calling it quits, saying over and out.